Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good whatever time this comes out. It's your boy DJ Dave Squeaky Wheels, and welcome to Wheelin and Dealin, episode number 50. Oh my goodness. We are back after a week off. Just need to take 1 week to kind of regroup, see what was going on. We need a time of lucidity. We need to have some time to just breathe and reflect and look at our inner selves and read our tarot cards and see what our signs are and all that stuff. I have a few friends that are into the tarot card and the sign stuff. It's fine, but it's not the biggest icebreaker in social situations. Whenever it is we get to have those. Lockdown number 3 is here. I'm not here to talk about that. All I can say is support a local business. Go outside, do some shit, get your immune system intact. Staying inside sucks, as I know. So, we understand what this is, but not here to dwell on this. I have a very, very exciting and very, very big announcement for today's show. Obviously, for those of you guys who may have heard, we have the adult film star Maxine X on this week's episode. She is a good friend of mine, and if you've looked at some of my stuff over the years, you would know that we did a podcast way back when, all 7 or 8 years ago. I had hair, I had hope. I looked from the. Here's the thing: when I was trying to watch it, because I have a very hard time watching myself, it's just completely atrocious, and just it makes me squirrely. It makes me not want to watch any of my shit. It's just how it is. But as I was watching it, I swear to God, it looked like Frank Oz had his hand up my ass the whole time, because my head was too big for my body, and there was a giant dildo behind us. It was this giant, big purple veiny one. I forget exactly what we talked about. It was mostly just like the intro and how we met and stuff, and the mutual interests that we had in common. Man, doesn't matter the job or profession, the vocation, whatever. People can find a common bond, which we need to do more now than ever. I think. We're so focused on our differences and division and blah 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 and all the altruistic stuff. Not excuse me, the non-altruistic stuff, all the material things. We don't take a chance to realize that we all want the same shit, and we can relate to each other a lot more than we think, which is what we talk about today. And it was a very enlightening conversation. We got to learn a lot about each other, what our interests are, the psychology behind fetishes, her OnlyFans, what she's been doing all this time, and so much more. So without further ado, I'm just gonna let this start. And also too, this week's episode, you'll notice we have a very different theme song. I didn't realize a lot of the times, like especially if you have a scatterbrain like me, and you don't always number things or put them in order. I had another theme that I've been working on for another project that I just kind of threw on the back burner. But today I just made a little minor tweak to it, and I think it suits the show a lot better. So let me know what you guys think. I'm very proud of it, to be honest with you. So without further ado, this is my interview with Maxine X, adult film star, and it starts right now on Wheelin and Dealin.
On my end, I'm recording my screen using my Xbox.
Oh
And we're
shit,
going to test it out because I want to do more podcasts too.
we
So we
need
should do
to.
this more often and
We need to.
we'll totally cross promote each other.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're different to a lot of crossing, especially dudes crossing swords. That's all different.
Well, I'm trying to revamp myself, you see. Like I'm trying to move. I mean, for you, of course, I'm going to have whatever you want to talk about, but I'm trying to revamp myself. I still have all my my model stuff and whatever, but I also want to do, I'm also working on different things right now. So I'm working on learning how to make passive income online that's not
Okay.
adult. So I'm working on that. And like anything from print on demand stuff to just like websites that can make you money, right? And I'm working on a project where I wanted to learn all the ways that somebody can make money online and live anywhere in the world. Like, because right now I'm a Canadian expat in the Dominican. So I want to be an expert at
Does
it
it come
so
with
I
the
can
Che
teach
Guevara
it.
hat? Does it come with the
Huh?
beret does it come with the beret or the Che Guevara hat? The expat.
No communism with me. Shakeover.
Oh yeah, but I should mention we are recording now. Welcome to episode 5, I believe, of Wheelin and Dealin. We have an old friend of mine. I haven't seen this gal in a long ass time. You may have seen her on one of your tabs when you're trying to get out of your computer screen really quick when your family's coming home. This is
Funny.
my good friend Maxine X. Give it up, man.
Yeah.
Give it up.
What's up? How are you?
Yeah, so I actually mentioned this because before we started this, I did, not that I have a bone to pick, but I have a little story for you. 'Cause
Okay.
I just moved into this apartment. It's going on 2 years now, and I'm very, very happy and fulfilled with this place. Shittiest year to move into some place, but it's it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I was clearing out all my old stuff in my old house. And I get a
Yeah.
call from my mom one day. She calls me up and she says, yeah, hi. I was like, hi, mom. So she's like, so I was cleaning out your room and I found some sensitive things in there. Very sensitive. She's like,
Sensitive things.
yeah, she's like, your grandmother's in
Um,
the next room. She like, but come over and let's clean this. I'm like, what do you mean by sensitive? And she's like, well, there was a DVD. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh shit. Because I remember on my
which one
22nd,
did you get? Which
it,
DVD was it?
I forget the fucking name of the title, but it was basically like it was a diverse cast. Let's say there was a black dude and like an Asian dude and a white chick, and it was like a produced porn, but it
Oh,
was
I know you're talking about Oiled Up. Oiled
oiled
Up.
up. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Oiled
because a
Up.
lot.
Angelina Valentine, myself, and oh gosh. Isn't it bad when you can't remember the guy's name that you've had sex with, but you can remember the girls?
Yeah, I hate when I forget the guy's name I had sex with. You're right. It's a common
I
thing.
always forget the guy's name. I always forget the guy's name. It's so bad. But I usually remember the girl's name. Not always though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was it brought me back. Let me just say, like when I say when you touch an artifact, you're immediately taken back to that point in time or in history. And as soon
Yeah,
as I touched it, I could
funny.
feel the shame and the jizz from the back of it. So just thank
Oh
you.
my God. So what did she say
Oh,
after?
we had a nice laugh about it.
Mm.
And I don't know. I kept it. Let me just say I kept it. I threw it in for later. I hadn't watched
Well,
it
she
in quite.
kept the DVD. She didn't throw it out or anything, did she?
No, 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 no. I had it for quite some time. I just forgot it was. I truly forgot it was back there.
That's so funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, everything's so fucking digitized. But yeah, no, I had, like I said, I hadn't seen you in quite some time. To this day, I think the last podcast we did is one of my second highest viewed or like most highest viewed podcasts on my channel.
Oh, it was good. I
Yeah,
loved it. I
yeah.
actually just watched it the other day and I like downloaded it. Like, Firefox, you can download YouTube. So I downloaded it. So I have it on my like, did you see my I'm starting at this channel Maxine podcast?
No,
Did you
no, I
see it?
haven't. No, I'll have to
Oh,
check.
I thought you had it because I put it in my interview selection and I put your link in the section. So to go
Oh,
for people to go and find the channel and stuff like that. But I just started that channel. But I want to start doing more. So we should do this more often. It's fun.
I think we should. It should be like a monthly thing
Yeah.
that we do, just kind of a check-in.
Yeah.
Because
Totally.
I don't know, especially like with our report and stuff. I think I talked about it in the first one. When I first walked in your store, I was a little apprehensive. It was just kind of a
That's
shy,
funny.
nerdy kid. I did know I was packing a thundercock back then, but still, just like.
That's funny.
But
Were
like,
you was you, were you 27 then? What was it? You were
no, no.
27?
How
Or
old do
you're
you think
turning,
I am?
huh?
So how old do you think I am? I'm 30. I'm 30 actually.
No, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, you said it was for your 27. You said the DVD was for your, how
No,
old were you?
I was like
What?
22, 20, like 23.
22. Sorry,
Yeah.
22. Sorry, I get lost with age. Don't mind me. I'm lost with age. I always forget how old I am. How old
Exactly.
am I? Guess what? How old am I?
It's tough to tell with Asians and black people. So
I
I feel
know.
like we're in
I'm
similar.
46.
You're
I'm
46.
46 now. Yeah,
God
I'm
damn.
46 now. And I'm in the MILF category.
Mhm.
So I have an OnlyFans. I should give you my OnlyFans so you can like so you gotta check out the link or whatever, or like at least I can promote the link. But the OnlyFans is like what I've been promoting more than my website now because I have my website. So the whole industry has like evolved, right?
I'll say, yeah.
So like people ask me, what do I do better, do more on my website or OnlyFans? I'd say my OnlyFans. So my OnlyFans is like $10 a month, but I put sales on all the time. So I go, so I can promote it and go, oh, it's 50% off right now. Go check it out. Like if you sign up, you get it for $5 a month, right? $5 for the month. And you have this, hold on a second. Yeah, you have this whole thing. Sorry, squirrel, squirrel. My ADD. My friend was like messaging
Yeah,
underneath, but
I
I'm not
wonder if
gonna
it was the
share.
same dildo from the first podcast that was popping up in the background. That giant purple motherfucker.
Yeah. No, my best friend. Whenever we like get distracted on something, we say like our ADD's kicking in, so we like go squirrel, and then we get distracted. We're like, get back on topic. Get back on topic. What was my topic again?
You were talking about your only, yeah, how the industry's evolved because
Oh, yeah,
OnlyFans,
it's totally evolved. So
yeah,
it's totally evolved, and especially during COVID. I would like when I'm at home. I'm not at home right now. I'm in friggin' Toronto,
yeah,
fucking lockdown hell. And I'll tell you about that experience because just to even be able to come home to visit my mom,
it's something else,
um,
isn't it? Yeah, it's
it's
something else.
insane. It's insane. It's it's insane. Sorry, my sniffles. Hold on a second.
No
Don't
problem.
worry, it's not COVID.
It's okay. I don't think we can catch it on Zoom, so I think we're good. Unless
It's
the
not
Chinese have figured out another way to transmit it, like
exactly.
cameras.
That my mom was, I mean, my husband was like, whenever he sneezes, he goes, COVID.
Mhm.
You go, "Achoo," and you go, COVID.
For might have been saying it's not a COVID cough, it's a weed cough, and you're not gonna catch my disability neither. It's not airborne.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. We a wheat cough. What?
A weed cough,
A
a
weed
weed.
cough.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an avid cannabis active.
Anytime I have the sneezes, I'm like, don't worry, it's not COVID. It's just my allergies. I get hay fever. I have regular allergies every day, and I take like Claritin or Reactin or something.
Yeah, that shit makes you
Um,
drowsy, man. I don't like
no,
some.
no, and not that one. A different one, but a non-drowsy one. So, but yeah, some of those make you drowsy.
I also just wanted to show people that I'm smoking a joint, just so they don't say, "Where are your hands, dude?" You're like, Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
First of all,
funny.
I got these little T-Rex arms, so I got to do a fucking. I basically have to do a somersault to jerk it. Sometimes
That's
it's an involved.
hilarious. Oh my God. So, okay, so it's totally evolved to like OnlyFans and OnlyFans is sometimes is more popular, right? I haven't gone on it in a couple of days because I've been so busy doing so much stuff here in my house and then other projects I'm trying to do. But my OnlyFans is better because I can message them, people can message me directly. Like if it was like on my Facebook or my social media, I don't always message back in my inbox. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
one, there's too many, and two, it's like I don't know, it takes up too much time. So I just tell people join my OnlyFans, and I promise I'll message back and forth there. You're talking to me, and
So
then they're
it's
already a
actually you messaging back just to clarify, because I know some girls hire like an Indian dude or like a Pakistani dude to message for them and like what's
You
up?
do know people? No, it's me.
Yeah,
I'm messaging.
that's good.
I'm
You're
messaging.
very that makes you unique. Then you're very authentic. You've always been authentic.
Yeah, I'm messaging back and I haven't checked it in a couple of days, but I'm supposed to check it every day. But I'm messaging back and we upload like content. Like Scott has a lot of the full movies and he'll upload on there, right? But I message people back, and I do custom videos. Like, so I do two versions of customs. So with the experience I have for my OnlyFans, one, I have so much content. I just put up so much content. It's like as much content as there is on my website. Not almost, I wouldn't say there is, but almost. And that's a lot because I have maybe 16 years of like videos on my website. Like all my content is on there that's
How
under.
much work would you say that you've done? Because I think that's
Oh, it's so much. I can't even tell you. Like, I was 27 years old when I started. What's 46 take away 27?
19 years. You've been in the biz almost
Yeah,
20
it's
years.
like 19 years I've been in the industry.
You're legally
And
drinking Canada. Your career's legal.
yeah. So I have so much, and I can't even think about how many I've done because it's like so much that I can't even think about it. But also when we did a movie, say for example, we did a movie, we cut it in it also goes into clips. So you can take a whole movie that you produced, right? And then for online, you can cut that into sections, like pieces of the movie, or you can have the whole movie. And some movies could be like 60 minutes long, right? No, sorry, 90 minutes long. A typical movie is 90 minutes long, but I've had movies that were longer and I've had movies that were shorter, right? And then on top of it, people can't do movies that long as much anymore online because they have so much stuff and everything is so much faster. They only have an attention span for so long, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And really, like the first 5 minutes, people have already come. But some people like the whole movie as a collection, and then they can watch different bits. Like this guy told me he just watches like 5-10 minutes here, and then later on he'll watch another 5-10 minutes, and it's like to get through the whole movie, right? Because once you're
What
done,
I'm
you're done. You turn
picturing,
it off.
what I'm picturing
Yeah,
right now is like, how old boxers, they show like the film tape where they have to use the projector. Like that's how like looking at like full movies is gonna be like in the future. It's like, why are you looking at that
yeah,
shit? Just go
that's
on
so
Twitter.
crazy, eh? So then you put it down to smaller segments. And then like, cause I sell on my OnlyFans, I have on the wall, I have shorter segments. And then I have all my social media stuff and then my behind the scenes and then just random stuff that I put up there. And even if it's just a picture or a picture set, sometimes people ask me to do certain things like, and they'll want a short custom. Now I have two versions, a short custom and a long custom, right? I do them for my OnlyFans. And so like my long custom, okay, a real custom movie, if somebody ordered it, like if Scott was going to produce it, if there's going to be other people, that's really expensive. That could be like more than $1,000, right? But I don't do that like by myself anymore, right? So now I just do 10-15 minutes for $100 for a full-on movie, like for 10-15 minutes, not I mean full-on movie, 10-15 minutes at a time, because majority of people can only sit through so much long. But I'll edit it so there'll be a lot of things in there. Like somebody might say a custom, for example, like this one guy, it was so many things I had to think of. I had a whole list: feet, legs, arching my feet. It was like this, that, say this, do that, close up on the mouth, this, and there was all these, like a whole list.
He had like
Not
stage
everybody's like
directions
that.
for you.
Oh, there's
It's
like,
fucking
well, when
wild.
it's a custom, they usually have that. The other custom people are just like, they'll be happy if you constantly say their name. So it's personalized, right? And then they'd be like, yes, David, yes, David, yes, David. Yeah.
Why are you saying what's going on in my head right now? Not this one either, the one you can't see.
So you could totally like and then some people like role play. So the top thing that I'm getting right now is MILF. So basically I'm everybody's mother, stepmother, girlfriend's mother, the neighbor's MILF mother, the teacher, and I have all these things. Like they'll be like, oh, can you do mom and son play? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
So
I'm
you
your
don't,
mom.
you don't want to have to do method acting for some of these. I think some of these are a bit
It's so
temptation.
funny. And then like so the typical one that I'm getting is like stepmom.
That's
So
really
stepmom
popular. Why,
teaches,
why do you think it's gotten so popular in the
so
last 10 years?
popular. So popular. You know why? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Single parents. There's more
Really?
single parents right now.
Interesting. I didn't
So,
know that.
okay, here's the thing. Okay, I love psychology. I'm not a psychologist. I didn't even graduate high school. I'm a high school dropout, but I'm an amateur psychologist.
Sure. I am too, trust me.
It's a Scorpio thing.
Is it? Oh yeah, that's
Scorpios
right.
love that
We're
stuff.
both
It's in
Scorpio.
our trait. It's in our personality chart. Anyways, we like this stuff. The truth, the taboo, dark, under the taboo of the darkness. We have no problem with all that. So, anyways, so the reason why, okay, if you think about it with psychology and Freud, right? So, for example, there's the Oedipus complex, right? There's like the boy who wants to secretly be married to his mom or have sex with his mom, and he's in competitiveness with his father, right? That's the Oedipus complex. Like,
Yeah.
then there's but what happened is what evolved is after a while there's so many single parents, so many kids being raised by single mothers, that throughout the generation, like not all of them are young people that I have. Some of them are grown men that just love the role play. So they don't have to be younger necessarily. They can, some of them have been my same age, but they're playing a role. And some of them aren't in their early 20s. It just happens. And so what happens is when you're little, like probably about your sexuality can form around like 3 and 5 years old even, right?
Yeah, I've heard
So
that. It's
right.
it's so weird because like you know as dudes I find we don't start like even producing real testosterone until like for me it was around 12 or
Yeah,
13.
but
Yeah.
it's psychological. What I'm talking about is psychological mostly, right?
Right.
So for example, psychological, because we start to discover our bodies, whatever, that's the physical, but psychological. So for example, here's an example of somebody who might like pantyhose. Like I have a whole bunch of fans who like pantyhose, like stockings and pantyhose. Well, a lot of those guys that like the pantyhose, they were a certain age group. So there's a certain age group and a certain generation. You know why? Because back in the day, pantyhose were really they weren't, you can't just you didn't just buy them at Shoppers Drug Mart for like $5, right? 5 and 10 bucks. You
They're kind of like
literally
high
had,
class. Yeah.
back in the day, you had a pair of stockings, that your mother had a pair of stockings, and you had to she had to gently wash them so they didn't get destroyed, and she'd hang them over the railing, and maybe a little boy maybe sucking his thumb, holding her legs, filling the pantyhose, or maybe watching her through the bathroom, like crack of the bathroom, washing her pantyhose and putting it up. So it's these things that form in your head, and that's like a 50s generation, like in the 1950s. But what I'm talking about is like for example, nowadays, so it works with generation, it works with age, and something, whatever's going on with the society. There's my sister. And with society, so for example, somebody, if there's a rise of like taboo of all these boys who like the stepmom, the MILF, all this stuff. So a lot of them grew up in a single mother home, right? And then sometimes you just can't help it that you have this attraction to your mom, your stepmom, your neighbor, and then you're seeing like everybody was on the internet at a very young age in your generation.
Yeah,
My generation, no.
yeah, my
My
generation,
generation,
it not so much like we were on there young, like I was
yeah,
around like 12 or 13. Sorry, 12
that's
or
young.
11. Yeah. But like when we
Still
started
young.
using MSN, we didn't have like social media like they do now on like
Yeah.
Snapchat and Instagram.
Right. So you're going to see a whole different group of kids that are going to grow up. They were little kids, 6 year
Yeah.
olds, and everybody already had social media. You know what I mean?
So
That's
weird.
going to be a whole different generation.
It's already
They're
so
also the
weird.
COVID kids. They're going to be growing up the COVID kids. You want to, I don't know what the next generation is going to be like, but let's
Shittiest
talk about
Western
what
title
we,
ever. I'm the COVID kid, boy.
Yeah, I know, right? But that generation, there's going to be a lot of problems because there was a whole year that those kids could not go to school, play with their friends, make social contacts. So many of them, there was a lot of people who committed suicide, by the way. They didn't report it because they don't want you to know it. But it messes up development in children. And yes, how we have fetishes, it's a development in children. My first fetish was of a girl being tied up. I was either the kidnapper, sometimes I was the kidnapper, and sometimes I was her savior, which is
Damn.
so weird. And I was in grade 2, by the way. Grade 2. How old are you in grade 2? Like 8, 7?
If
I
that.
don't know how old you are in grade 2. I was in grade 2 going into grade 3. It was the summer, and I was in day camp. And there was a teenager. They were all teenager counselors, and I had a crush on one of the girls, and she was like a blonde, pretty girl or whatever. And I was like, where did that come from? And I used to be like, whoa, that's so weird. And years later, my husband, he took psychology, right? So he has his degree in psychology, and he was explaining all about it. And basically, these things form when you're pretty young, like fetishes and stuff like that. They form. And I don't know where I got that from, but I'm guessing when I was young, around that age, I started watching 80s horror movies.
Ah,
And my, because I had 3 older brothers and an older sister. And
was it like slasher movies or like what was genre?
slasher movies, horror movies like Freddy Krueger, there was always sex and
Yeah.
violence. So depending on the generation and the age group of people, how they grow up, you can kind of see like how certain things develop, right? You want to say hi to my friend David? Oh, you can just say hi. It's my sister. She's eating ice cream.
No problem.
And you can meet her. We'll do a funny podcast one day. Say
Okay.
hi.
Hi, sister. How
That's
you
my
doing?
that's
Nice to meet
Sarah.
you. Hi, Sarah. Oh, that's my sister's name too. That's dope.
Oh, your sister's name's Sarah?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. You met her? I think you guys met in my store one day, like years ago.
Oh,
Yeah. Because she's like, I think I met him. I said, yeah, one time she was in Windsor in my store for a bit. So we think that I'm pretty sure you met her once.
well,
Anyways,
as I say to people who often think they see me, I'm pretty fucking hard to miss. So you probably see.
yeah. Well, I mean, she only saw your Facebook picture, so she didn't see the whole thing. But what I'm trying to say is she has a good memory, so she already recognized you. She has a really good memory. I have the worst memory. But you see what I'm saying, how these things can form? Like
Absolutely.
they start off at a young age. I know I was watching a lot of horror movies and I was so scared of them. But there was a lot of that kind of stuff in those movies back in the day. And I remember I was scared of them, but I used to want to watch them too. So I'd like run away and then I'd come back, I'd be like, ah, and you'd hear scary music and you run in like, oh, oh my God. And then I want to be brave. And now I love horror movies. My sister and I, we used to like, when we were in high school, we were addicted to horror movies. So, but I think I watched like all those 80s horror movies way too young. I was probably watching them around 7 years old
Oh yeah.
because my brothers were older, right? And
Yeah. Right.
they're not thinking like it's the 80s back in the day. They're just watching horror movies. If I'm there, I'm there. I'm like, I was coming in and watching. They were not even paying attention to me. And they'd watch the horror movies and then I'd run away and then they didn't even think about it. And I go back in. It's like not like my mom knew that I was watching horror movies, but that's where mine formed, right? So I have a horror fetish, like I love that stuff. And then I got into bondage. So the point is that if you really think about it, you might find some things that influence some of your fetishes or kinks or whatever. But it's all different stuff. It's like, why do guys like boobs? Well, where do you think that came from?
Yeah. It's
From your
like
mom's boob.
it's also too like the fantasy. Like you were talking about the fantasy and just how you can like morph it in your head and stuff. What's fascinating about you doing all these customs and shit like that is like where people's fantasies can kind of like go every which way.
Yeah.
You're literally doing a choose your own adventure like thing, but with dildos. So it's like,
Yeah. Choose your own adventure. That's so funny. I don't even think the new generation knows what that means. The
no,
choose your own
well, I'm
adventure.
not appealing
I
to them.
do.
I'm appealing to people that have shit going on. I don't know.
It's
Okay,
funny.
I'm just fucking with the newer generation.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no,
But
yeah, fetishes are a weird thing. I think that was one of our first conversations actually, because like for me it was the wet hair thing, and it was a few.
oh yeah, I did that too. I
Yeah,
did that in a shoot. But yeah, for the customs, like I do that. Like I've done that. I did teacher one where like a teacher one is really popular, and then when with the $100 one I do and I edit it so it's like a movie, so it fills up to a lot. But the other one that I do that's cheaper, okay, so like $30, like I'll do maybe like 8 minutes or something, right? And I'll just use my cell phone. Now I can't do a whole bunch of stuff with it because I gotta prop up my cell phone. I have here, don't get blinded, but you see this is a ring light.
oh damn.
And I have a place you can put your cell phone or your webcam. And so it holds it for me. It's a really professional. That's why it's nice and bright in here because I got a ring light on. Otherwise, I'm in a basement, so it's dark. But
Like the horror movies, it's almost like
yeah,
by design.
yeah,
What are you trying to say,
yeah.
Maxine? I know.
Well,
Should I be looking through my
Did
closet or
did
under
they
the
did
bed?
they always kill? Did they always they either killed the what happened? Some people have this like thing where it's just like, oh, they killed the black friend first. They're like,
Black
what
guy
the
or the hot
hell?
chick?
And
Yeah,
then people
yeah,
start getting mad at like horror movies. What the hell? Why do they keep killing the black friend first?
yeah. If anything,
In
I
horror
just be
movies.
playing possum or act like the scarecrow just by default. I have a joke where I just did this in Macro. I'm like, my hands are great if you want to be great at Chinese checkers or a stand-in for a grasshopper.
Chinese checkers.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You're just
I
picking
used
them
to
up.
love that.
Oh,
Oh, I
for
used to love.
real?
Wait, is Chinese checkers the Connect? No,
I think it's like the
it's
balls.
like.
You move the balls around.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I did play that though, but I can't remember how to play it now. But I remember I did it. It's like a thing, and then yeah, okay. I always got confused on how to play that. My favorite was like I used to like the Connect Four. Do you remember Connect Four?
I do. I do. I lost many shit talking matches to those. I had like many friends who would play that,
I like Connect. I used to love Connect Four.
That reminded me of Hollywood Squares a little bit with like the little spots.
Oh, the hell, yeah, that's funny, eh?
Yeah.
I like the '80s generation, the '80s, '70s, '80s, '90s generation. That's the best. Those are
That
the best
fashion's
era.
making a comeback, and I think like because they're rehashing so much shit, like every movie you watch is a reboot, like all the
Yeah,
styles.
that's annoying though, because they're
Oh,
not good.
well, yeah, Cobra Kai excluded. Cobra Kai is, I guess, the outlier, but they kind of did a whole
Oh, I
new.
didn't see it.
Oh, you have to. It's basically there's a video on YouTube going around where they took the side of Johnny Lawrence, where it's like there's this loudmouth kid from New Jersey that comes by and steals his girlfriend and just
That's
instigates
really
the fights the whole time. So like they take it from a lawyer perspective, it's a comedy perspective, but
that's
basically,
funny.
yeah, it's just like he's just trying to get his shit together. He's a champion. He was graceful, and like they show like them like Daniel LaRusso egging him on the next day. He's like, oh yeah, right when Miyagi talks to Kreese, where he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna wait until the tournament before you guys start fighting, and so
That's
he eggs him on the
funny.
next day like a little shit talker, man. It's like I know
That's hilarious.
so some people are all bark and no bite, but like I like what I like the most about it is that it doesn't feel like there's a lot of cameos and a lot of like people coming back, but it doesn't feel like they're trying to do the old thing. They're taking a newer generation and putting a new twist on it. Like
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of my new favorite shows. And like when I got actually no, that was after I got COVID because I got COVID in December. But like
You got COVID?
I
What
did
was
I
it
did
like?
let's see. You know what?
Like I know of it of people getting the symptoms. So did you have a bad symptoms?
Well, here's what I had. I'll break it down very succinctly. So I that weekend I was like playing cards with some friends, and that's where I think it went down. And on Monday, Tuesday, I kind of just felt kind of foggy, like a little congested, a little kind of murky,
Yeah.
like not too much energy, but like I partied the weekend, so I was my normal hungover type of
Yeah.
Hunter Thompson coming off a bender kind of self. And then by Wednesday, I like would wake up and I was soaked, like from getting out of
Oh,
bed, and I had these fucking body chills, and like I had this
oh
cough.
man.
So it was like a few of the big symptoms, and then I didn't end up getting checked until like maybe like the next week, but by like literally like by that weekend I was fine. Like
Yeah. See, the thing is Scott believes that he might have got it too because he
oh
had
yeah.
those kind of symptoms
Oh yeah.
right before they announced the lockdown. And this other guy I know too, he got symptoms just like the COVID symptoms right before the lockdown, but they didn't classify it because it wasn't out yet, like it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah.
publicized yet.
It
So,
was
but
COVID-17 back then, you know. So it
yeah,
was like the
but
countdown to
you
bed
know
day.
what? Actually, somebody we know, their husband just died of it,
You're
but
right. Oh, shit.
he had underlying symptoms. He was only 46, but he had
Okay.
underlying health issues,
That's really
and
yeah.
he would have died from those health issues, but because he had those health issues and the COVID, I just heard that he passed away. So it's, oh my God, so horrible. But
Yeah.
you know what? I know the COVID, you know, it's a bad symptom. Sometimes it's okay for some people, and sometimes it's like deathly for others, right?
Yeah.
But healthy people, like usually they can get over it. It sucks, but they can go, because a whole bunch of people that we know that had got it, it sucked. They felt like they were almost on death's door, but they got over it because they didn't have the other symptoms. Now, for example, this woman that we know, her daughter got it in Canada, and she didn't do anything for 3 days, and then she took Benadryl or something along those lines, something basic like over the counter cold medicine or whatever, and she was better and like within the week. But it was a really bad for that week, right? But that's the thing. The thing is I'm not a fan of the lockdown. I think it's bullshit. But I mean, I know that the virus exists. I mean,
Yeah.
I have
I
brothers
honestly
who's a
like
doctor and people, yeah.
yeah, I honestly
But
think
the
like
lockdown is fucking bullshit.
yeah,
So bullshit.
it's not the fucking virus itself, it's the response to it and like how things have
Yeah.
been handled so so
Like, okay, for
poorly.
example, like the world survived bubonic plague and all these fucking
Spanish
crazy
flu.
shit. You know what I mean? We're gonna survive it too. And you know, when you go inside, like when you have a cold or the winter and the flu, you're gonna get more of the flu because you're inside. It's better to be outside in the fresh air. You need vitamin D.
Also, too,
So
like those germs
yeah,
can live in colder temperatures as well. Like the temperature has an
yeah,
effect with that. And like just to get back to the symptoms, like after a few days, like I said, by the weekend I was fine. So I got really sick on
yeah,
Tuesday to Friday, but like by Sunday
yeah,
I was good. And ever since then I've been like exercising litigiously. I've been taking vitamins. I've been,
yeah.
you know, a
Vitamin
lot of
D and vitamin C. Make sure you take
quercetin.
2 vitamin Ds and 2 vitamin Cs and some other. Wait, my husband gave me this list of vitamins, because he's like, those are the stuff you take
Is
to
this the
help
part where you're
prevent.
gonna be the MILF teacher when you put the charts up?
Yeah, the milk teacher. I am, right.
Legit. No,
I play
I
that
would
all the
learn a
time.
whole bunch of languages if you were my teacher. I would
Wait,
not.
you gotta see. Wait, you gotta see the like a clip of that video. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't do it from here, but I have to show it to you later. I'll send it to you later. But I made a clip of this video, and it's like, wait, hold on a second. Where's my phone? I'll do it from my phone. And at one point I put it up on YouTube, and they like totally took it down and said it was inappropriate.
I
But
know.
I
So
tried to put a
understood.
PG version, and they still took it down. It's hilarious. Um, oh man, it was so funny. Wait, I'm not gonna have it on there now. Wait, is it on my OnlyFans?
Gotcha.
Wait, I'll show you some of my OnlyFans. Okay, so OnlyFans, it's like it's where the industry always changes. Things have to evolve. You know what I mean? Wait a second. Trying to get bless you. Trying to get rid of. So, like, my phone is broken.
Yeah, I
It's like
think
got a big black spot.
I
But you
can see
see,
it. I can see it.
so it's like, okay, if I
For
log
the audio people, just go to Maxine's OnlyFans to
oh
understand.
yeah, so it's like onlyfans.com/Maxine X. And I do good on that because I do well on that because um membership, and then but they get a lot of stuff though. Some people, I've seen some people really not do a lot of stuff. Like some people charge like an extreme amount of money. Like this one girl was on YouTube and I was looking up what people were charging, and it's insane because this girl who's an Instagram model, she was charging $200 for her, I don't know, just a little bit of nude, right? And I'm like, I got full on, I got mine's like $5 to $10. I got full on videos, full on crazy shit. And it's like tons of free stuff on my wall. And then what I do is I sell full movies in the inbox, like in the DM. And I sell them for anywhere from like $3.99 to like $10 or whatever. But some people sell them for like an extreme amount of money. But then what they do is they have a choice. If they want to buy it, they can click on it and then it'll charge them $3.99, and they got a full movie, like the long version. And then basically it's like and they can choose if they want it or not, right? And some people will request, hey, do you have more of this? Hey, do you have more of that? Oh my gosh, I can barely keep up sometimes because I'm like, oh, do I have this? I have to look it up, and if not, I might make some, right?
Bangs number one, number two, you gotta like lick through it like a file cabinet. It's like,
yeah,
okay, let me check.
like,
Two white cards, two black cards.
Literally, like what I did was, where is it now? Hold on a second, my external. Okay, here it is. Like literally, it took me months to do this. I mean, Scott has most of the full movies, right? But I have an external hard drive, right? So I have an external hard drive like this, Max. So this one says Max on it. I have 3. One is like for my non-adult stuff. So I have a PG external hard drive, and then this one's the hardcore external hard drive, and I go in it and I have all these custom videos. So I'll take a custom video, even if I have somebody's name in it, I'll edit the names out and I'll just revamp it and I'll post it again, right, as some content. And I have all my webcam shows, like my webcam shows from years ago. I have I don't have all of them. I have some, and I have a bunch, and you post that stuff up. You post, somebody says, oh, can you do it's just cell phone pictures and maybe like $30 or whatever. And some people like close up, and I'll do the cell phone version without editing. It's got no editing because then I have to do the more expensive one. If I can do it quickly on my cell phone, I'll make it for them like that same day. And then if later on I can repost it as content that I can post on my OnlyFans. My OnlyFans is great. And I was in like the top 0.6, I mean 6 point whatever, the top 6, and one time I got to the top 3, right?
Okay.
Percent of all of OnlyFans. When I work it really hard, I get into a really top percentage of all OnlyFans. And if I don't work it so hard, then I'm usually around the 6% or whatever. But I also do, like when I'm at home, not here, when I'm not at my mom's, I also do the webcam.
When you're someplace else. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so I have my webcam. So I have Skype. I do it on Skype. And then some people book an appointment. Some people I just like, yeah, just message me on Skype. I'll tell you if I'm available or not. And I don't do it like 24/7. I just kind of do it like if I'm in the mood to do it. And if I'm not doing anything, I'll like plan. I'll set up. I have a guest room. I set up my guest room, and then somebody will be like, "Are you available?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do this. Blah blah blah. No, not right now, but maybe later, right?" And then if I am, I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm doing it tonight," and I'll message people. So my Skype, I'm busier than when I go on my Cam Soda. Cam Soda, I have that too. camsoda.com/Maxine X. I do that one, and it's got like live and public and free shows and then private shows. But really, like, honestly, I honestly promote my Skype because everybody always wants to do it on Skype. Because why? Because sometimes Oh, there's like a weird bug. Sometimes the hold on a second. Let me see if that bug can.
I was gonna say catch it with the chopsticks or shoot it like with one of those African darts.
I don't know where it is now. But did I tell you it's like squirrel, squirrel.
Okay.
My
I
ADD.
think we have the same attention span, so don't be hindered by that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So funny.
I actually had a couple questions for you as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like because here's the thing, like I said, you're in like a different category, the MILF category. Like what do you do to kind of like keep yourself in shape? You know, I guess like
Oh my
over
God.
time.
No, I'm not in shape right now. I feel horrible. See, you're only seeing from the boobs up. The
Okay,
boobs up,
this is true.
right? Unfortunately,
My boob's
COVID,
up too, you know,
COVID
it's not good.
fucked me. COVID fucked me up because I like totally gained 20 pounds. So now I have to like
So
work
more
at
black guys, more black scenes.
it. Yeah, they would love it. They would love it. I swear to God. I was like always the skinniest girl in their group. A lot of those guys had the bigger girls.
Right,
And
right.
one time, like Sky was like, "Oh, you should go to try out this for one of this biggest website." I went on there, and there's like curvy girls, and they're like, basically, I was too skinny to be on that website, and I was like, they like the really, really curvy girls. But I'm in the Dominican now, and it's so funny because in Sosua, like, is an area in the Dominican, and it's all these Black American guys coming for the girls because, well, they have prostitution, but the girls are literally right out of a hip hop movie. They have the booties naturally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Some of them you think, is that natural? Like, it's like right out of a hip hop movie video.
I
It's
always wonder
crazy.
if like they
And,
could be the
and
new coyotes for like when Mexicans like try and come over and stuff. I feel like you could use like those girls' asses as coyotes. You could stuff a little tiny
you could.
like a Mario looking guy.
So they have the
Sorry,
biggest.
this segment is brought to you by marijuana, guys. Sometimes I stutter.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, man.
But yeah. What else questions do you have?
Oh, you know, I kind of wanted to wing it, but yeah, it was
Oh, you
most.
can wing it. I'm just saying if you wanted to, because I talk forever, so I have to remember to shut up sometimes.
Believe it or not, so do I. I just, you know, like I said, I hadn't seen you in a long ass time. So sometimes like you take a minute to get the rhythm and stuff. But like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, oh yeah,
Well, me.
this is what I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, I did see you live one time, like when you did like a live show.
Oh yeah,
Now,
yeah. Winter.
yeah, yeah, like so like when you're doing the thing like where because I think you squirted on stage or did something of that nature. I was like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
when you get a participant to come up there, like, is it like they're on roller skates? You know, like they're trying not to slip in the squirt. Have you ever?
That's so true. I think so. I think so. Try not to slip. Oh, that's where she remembers you because she was at that show that you
Oh,
went,
yes.
the live show. So that's probably where
Brought
you
a
met.
couple people and they were impressed. Needless to say.
That's so crazy. I know my shows are crazy. It's like nobody does shows like I did. It's insane. Oh my
We
God.
should do a side act. You know, we should kind of be like a Abbott and Costello, like who's on first type of thing. You know.
It's the first.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
but it's like who can stay on the dildo longest.
Oh my God. That's so crazy. I did one thing where I brought up the Sibian. Do you know what the Sibian is? Where it has the machine and it's like the dildo on the, it's like
Oh, it's like the 2-1.
shaped like a, yeah, it's shaped like a seat, like a round thing, right? Like you sit on it, like a horse saddle.
Oh,
And
is
then
it like a dildo bike kind of thing? Like the thing from always.
yeah, and then it has a dildo on it, and you have like you turn it up and it goes
You know, everybody should do the Tour de France. They should redo the Tour de France, but with dildo bikes instead.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it would
yeah.
get
See, there
numbers.
you go. It would be like it's kind of like um what do you call those bronco, like where you're riding the horse, like
Oh,
mechanical
yeah,
horse.
the mechanical bull type of things. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're riding the mechanical bull horse, and you're like, but it's like I don't know, it's the Sibian. And we did that. We brought that up on at Leopards. We brought that thing on stage and everything, and we had this girl on there, and I was like, she was like totally trying not to. So she was uh, like this, and I was like, you can come if you want. She goes, oh, I was embarrassed too. I was like, no, that's the whole point. That's when you can stop. You can
God bless that poor
She
little.
went up there and she was on there for so long. And I was like, and then I
God,
started asking her questions, like quizzing her, like, what's 10 times 10? What's the capital of whatever? And she's on this like,
it was like she just had a concussion, like her pussy had a concussion. Like, how many fingers am I holding up?
yeah, exactly.
You're doing this. He's like, no, let me see if this is fine. Is this
Yeah, that's so funny. Hilarious. You're so funny. I miss hanging out with you, huh? It's
I
funny,
know,
eh?
right? Yeah, yeah.
We have so much fun.
When things, I don't know, whenever we're allowed to, fucking come over. You gotta come see the new place.
Well, you know what? We can do this more often, like the Zoom thing, because as soon as I'm able to, well, I'll probably be here for like the month, but then, God, I want to get back to the Dominican. I'm like, what am I doing here? It's fucking Canada. I'm going back down south where we're drinking friggin' cocktails on the beach.
Yeah, I'd be down. I was supposed to be in Jamaica, actually. I was thinking about going to Jamaica
Nice.
for my 30th because I got family down there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I posted a picture on my Facebook of like my last little trip. It was with me and my aunt. I think I was 4.
Aw. Well,
I had the
they've
same size
changed
hair.
the flights. You know how I had to get here? I don't
Really?
even know how I'm going to get back. So they changed the flights.
Are you gonna be in like the big girl's ass like the coyote? Get smuggled back that way?
No. So I had to take a flight from Dominican to Miami, Miami to Atlanta, and Atlanta to Toronto, all in one day. And they were like,
It was like 4 flights.
Dominican to Miami is like 2 hours long, but you have to do all the process, right? You know, the friggin' the security, the bags, all that stuff. So you have to do all that. And then when you get to when I got off of Miami, I had to collect my bag and I had to rebook in because there was no connecting flight, which was such a pain. And then she told me that I wasn't going to make my flight because they had just said my connecting flight was going to be 20 minutes late. And she knows she used to work at the Atlanta airport, and it's massive. You know how long it took me to get from where I got off of my plane to the next gate? An hour. And I got a little bit lost, of course, so it took a bit longer, but it was still very far away. And I didn't know you had to go all this way down this hall. Then you had to turn, and then you go on a tram that takes you to a whole other part of the airport. I would have never made it. No way.
Wow.
It took me an hour to get there.
It's like in the West Edmonton Mall, like that type of trolley that you had to take over.
It was like a tram. It takes you all the way to another part of the airport. And so anyway, she did me a massive favor in Miami, and she put me on an earlier flight, but it was a standby flight, but it wasn't full. So I was easily on that flight. So because it wasn't fully booked. But standby is like if somebody cancels or doesn't show up, you can take their seat. But she says if that happens, which it's not a full flight, but if that happens, she put my other flight onto first class, so I'm right at the front and I can run out, but I still wouldn't have made it because I'm not that fast. I'm like, oh my God, and it was so far away.
Oh God.
So then when I got off, I got to the Atlanta. Okay, so I got in Miami. I went to where I was supposed to board the plane, and they were already boarding. So it was like I had no time to get, like, thank God I had snacks because I had no time. Then I get on that flight, and then I go to Atlanta, and then when I get off at Atlanta, I had some time, and I was like in this bar, and it's so cool in the U.S. because like everybody talks to everybody, no problem, because there's like in America, I feel like they're like chat with strangers easier, like because I'm from Toronto, and Toronto it's a little bit different in Windsor too. Like Windsor's more friendlier than sometimes
It's a
Toronto.
bit more of a
But
small town.
yeah,
Like
like in
everybody.
Toronto, they don't always talk to strangers in the bar. But
No.
when I was in this bar, everybody was talking to each other, black, white, old, young, whatever, doesn't matter. Everybody was all cool. And I started talking to this girl. I sat beside this girl, and she was, I think she said she was from Florida, but then now she was living in Alabama. And then there was this other guy. He was like made power lines, or he put up power lines all over America. So he was calculating all the different cities and places he in the states he's ever been in the United States. So he's kind of collecting like his trip passport, you know, and he loved it. I was like, oh, what's your favorite place you visited? And he goes in and he would say, oh, I love so many, but maybe I like the, you know, South Carolina or North Carolina. And I was like, oh, amazing. And I think he was from Kentucky, and I love that area. And then and then there was another couple who, yeah, go ahead. There was another couple, and they bought the girl beside me a birthday shot. And then and then the bartender, she took my glass of wine and she filled it to the top. So I had like double wine, like I couldn't even finish it. And I bought a second one and a double one. And I was like, I ended up giving her a $10 tip at the end of the night. It was just like a great, and I like all I ate was like cheese sticks or whatever. But it's America. Sometimes, like, here's the thing with America. It's like it's like lively. Like people have a personality, and they joke around and they have a lot of fun. But always you're gonna find with that, you can also find somebody who's also could be a bullshitter. So
yeah. You know, there's people that are loud mouths.
You gotta watch out for the bullshitters. But
I love what Bill Burr said, where he said you can't judge a whole group of people based on their biggest morons. You know, based on like
yeah, that's
like
good.
it's not a fair assessment of the country's track record and who they are collectively. I think we, you know, because this is the thing too. Like I had a job at the Y, and it was about like a job training seminar, and they're talking about the mental traps you can get yourself into, and one of them was overgeneralizing or making decorative statements. So like you'll say, well, all people do this, or all people say this. You know, typically you're just using hyperbole, but doing that shit, I feel like can like alter your opinion of people. So it's not a productive way to communicate. Oh damn, you just did a shot. What'd you do?
Well, my sister gave me vodka. Well, it's so funny. I should have showed her. Like she smoked the thing outside. He was smoking it on here.
I was gonna say I could have shotgunned you through the camera, you know.
Yeah, you shotgun me through the camera with your joint.
Let's do it right now.
Get your joint out. I got a vodka.
Yeah, I had a little bit of wine before we started. I haven't been drinking. Nice. So I've been drinking way too hard lately. Like
I know everybody has it. It's COVID. That's the reason. Yeah. Okay, give me a toke of your joint. I haven't done that since I was in my 20s.
Oh shit! Hey,
late 20s.
I think everyone's becoming an alcoholic.
Oh my god, I know, and everybody gained weight. Yeah. Oh my god,
I think everyone's gained weight, and everyone's become like a severe.
Oh, totally. I know.
Legit. This is like the bad parts of like the 20s and the 30s. You know what I'm saying? It's like they talk about the partying. But yeah, we're putting our body, because here's the thing, you need to have a catharsis. I feel like when people are so pent up right now, and that's why you're seeing all their emotions being spilled out online. I take a break from online. I do a point of emphasis to not check shit throughout the day.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I did that too.
Oh yeah, like don't watch the news.
Before I re-added my Facebook.
Like
my sister makes jokes of it.
I'm this much of an old man, Maxine. Even when I watch sports, I'll mute all the commercials. I can't listen to one.
Well, who wants to listen to the commercials? Of course, that makes sense.
Pavlovian response at this point, where I'm like, if I hear one more fucking ad played the 50 minutes, it's the same fucking ads they keep recycling over and over and over again.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm so sick of the ads.
I would rather take Chinese water torture than this bullshit right now. It's less painful.
What exactly is Chinese water torture? Is it like where they just drop a drip on your head like over and over until you go crazy?
How I've seen it dramatized in movies is they have somebody tied up like your fantasy. So maybe I'm giving you another idea for your next DVD. They tie them up like their arms and legs, and you keep your head back and you just drop water on them consistently.
Oh my god!
And here's the thing: I was watching a really shitty. Just and like first of all, how do people like not just open up your mouth and do that? Just catch the drops. Or just like put your tongue out. But I was watching a shitty movie. It's called Robo Vampire, and they were doing the same type of Chinese water torture, but the time captures were not perfect to it. Like she looked she took like 3 drops and she was soaked. It was like, this is such bullshit.
So crazy. So funny. What about that what about all that Japanese like porn? Is that so popular with young people? Like, because it's supposedly like a crazy like.
Are you talking about the cartoons, like the hentai shit?
Yeah, when they have the tentacles. I only heard about it. I've only seen maybe a little clip of it once online. I was like, whoa.
I don't know. I don't ask. Like, if that is a conversation, it's typically a drunken one past 12 at a bar somewhere. But
All right, see ya.
I don't know. I have a few weird friends. I'm sure they like that shit, you know?
My sister's gonna say goodbye.
Bye. It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Sarah. It was a pleasure. I'm gonna try not to slip in your sister's squirt, you know.
He's gonna try not to slip in my squirt.
If we ever do a live show, I'm gonna grease my fucking wheels.
She has a little too much information for me.
Does she know what show she's on?
I told you she's really funny, so we have to have like
I totally got caught here.
You got caught? Oh my god.
What is my hair like?
Yeah,
Is it,
no.
like, really messy?
Show me. I can't see it from that far. Just put your head down. No, it's fine.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I just like walked in. I was like talking to you, and all of a sudden went.
We have shows like this, guys.
It's
There we go. All right.
be careful. Yeah, that thing on there. You're gonna do it again. I was just gonna say, be careful of your head now.
Again. Oh my God.
Yeah.
For the audio listeners, I don't know. What did she do? Did she bump her head? What happened?
Oh no, like there's like a spring door in the back, right?
Oh,
Like is a spring door,
yeah, yeah.
and the chain of the spring door is hanging low, but she has like an afro, right? Afro hair. So her hair is afro hair. It's like curly, right?
Yeah.
And she walked by it, and the chain went up here, and she's like, "Oh, I got caught."
Oh, damn.
She goes, "Did my hair get messy?" I'm like, "No, it looks fine."
Another scene to add to your next movie: a wire pulling your hair.
Yeah, but she's like, "Have you ever heard of SUTV?" It's a comedy from Canada.
SCTV, yeah. That's
SUTV.
yeah, Eugene Levy.
You know, it was like all the most famous Canadian comedians were on it. It was like I was a little kid when it was on, but that's my sister used to love that comedy, and she used to just make all these funny jokes like she was right in the comedy show of SUTV. And my sister, I thought she was going to be a stand-up comedian when I was little, because like after dinner she'd go, "Wait, I have another joke to tell you," and she'd like have all these little things. Like we were like anywhere from grade school to like high school, but she'd like keep me there, and she's like, and then I get up and she goes, "Wait, another one, I have this another funny joke," and then she'd like do this whole like stand-up routine, like skit. And I'm like, "Okay, you done now, Sarah? Can I go? Leave the tape?" But yeah, she's really funny. And since I've been here, we've been cracking up like crazy. Like we've been laughing like crazy.
Probably got like a billion inside jokes too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, of course. And then
those are the best type of jokes. Like not even just with family, but like amongst friends. Some of like the funniest shit is from like 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Nobody else knows what the fuck. You might as well be speaking Klingon. But
I know. And then you just laugh like crazy, and then we've been drinking too. So it's just like, if I'm upstairs, she'll be like this: "I'm ready for a shot right now. Come bring me a shot." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go and I pour her a shot, and we're like, clink, you know. And then she's like, "Let's watch a movie. Have some wine." And then and then we've just been drinking and laughing a lot.
Actually, this is my next
Probably
thing.
driving the parents crazy.
So sorry to cut you off. I don't know if everybody knows this, but like you were born in Cambodia. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
States.
So I have a whole interesting story. My sister was adopted too. My sister was adopted from Ecuador.
So you guys are all adopted?
And there's 5 kids. 3 of us are adopted and 2 weren't.
Okay.
So my brother is adopted too. Like, so I was adopted from Cambodia, and I was they found me in a bombed village during the war, and then I was brought.
Was I doing a set there? It was a bomb.
Bombed village.
Was it the first 10 minutes of me being awkward?
Yeah. Oh, right. So yeah. So then my stories is like, I was in this orphanage they called the Canada House. And so this lady, Naomi Bronstein, she was already helping Vietnamese babies during the Vietnam War in 1969, And then she moved in 1970. There was Nixon was bombing Cambodia, and so like the whole agriculture, and I was born in 1974, so it was stopped by them, but there was still war. There was war with other communists that were there, and then there was also a Marxist regime called the Khmer Rouge, and they were basically, as soon as America left Cambodia, they started they took over the country, and they put a lot of people in concentration camps, because what they wanted to do, because they're Marxist, right? So what they wanted to do was make a perfect socialist society. So the first thing it was the kind where a lot of them, he believed that the country people were better than the city people, because communists are against capitalism. So anybody who was from the city was sworn at and was like called the evil capitalist, right? And they were meant to line up for food last. And then he killed everybody who was educated. So everybody from the government, this is a lot of people who killed, like over 2 million people minimum was killed. So everybody who was from the government, anybody who was a teacher, anybody who was educated, any student, anybody who wore glasses, you'd be killed.
It probably is not the first reason. It's probably a laundry list.
Well, they killed anybody who was mixed race Cambodian. They killed anybody who wasn't Cambodian. They killed anybody who was a different religion. They didn't believe in religion because they're Marxists. They don't like religion, because the religion is the Marxist ideology, right? They killed like basically everybody. All they wanted was the countryside Cambodians. I would have lived if I was old enough, because I was from the country. I was from the jungles, so I was from the country. And non-educated, right? Because they wanted to re-educate them. So they put them in concentration camps where
aren't they fucking creepy terms, irregardless? Like,
what?
I say it's a creepy term. Like, what do you mean be re-educated? Like it's
So
it's like what
it's
the
called
fuck
brainwashing.
Yeah, it's because there's definitive truths, there's definitive things that we can prove with like equations and fucking just with actual visuals. So like when you keep hearing these terms like come up and shit, it must be so fucking alarming, just because like of how just like any like the re-education, or like when you need to like relearn. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's called brainwashing. So basically they like a lot of right, like a lot of communists, they'll make them listen to, like when they were working in the fields, they played audio like of monologues of their leader, which was Pol Pot, over and over how great he was. And then after they did another purge, and he was thinking, oh, some people are dying in the rice fields, and it was really because they're malnourished. They were slaves basically, and they were dying. And he goes, oh, something's like poisoning the group. So he did another purge, and then he had a place called one of the places that he had was a prison called SS-21. And what happened, this is what the killing fields were, right? This is the real killing fields, is this place called SS-21. And so they started arresting everybody. So they arrested from whole families all the way up to babies. They have an area in Cambodia called the Killing Fields, and you can go to this location. It was a converted school, and it has all these pictures of people and babies and all the people they killed, and they kept records of how they tortured and killed them, because they would ask them, are you with the KGB? Are you with the CIA? And these are country Cambodians. They don't even know what that is. And they're like, no. And then they eventually have to admit it. And then they would kill them, right? And if the only survivors that came out of it was a handful, only like, I think there was like 6 people who survived it when it was finally liberated. And they were so brainwashed that they couldn't even remember what their name was. That's how how fucked up this camp was. So that's communism. That's socialism. And so what happened
when it's done like with force, which people don't understand. Like if we're talking about psychology, this all kind of goes back. It's kind of an ever rotating cycle where like even with these places, if you do liberate that, they tend to have another leader that maybe is not as aggressive, but they kind of do it in like a different way. Like when I went to university, like the communications classes in particular, they would show us like different propaganda that they would
Oh
show
yeah.
throughout war, and like how the media will give you imagery and then
Hmm.
we'll take studies on that and like based on like how people react. So like during the Katrina thing, they were showing like a lot of people looting back then, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and we're only showing like the imagery of that and like people and
Yeah.
when it's not that it's not a real thing, but to
Yeah.
fixate on that and to like have it be the 24-hour news cycle, like you said, where they can
Yeah. Yeah.
keep that shit propping up. It's the creepiest fucking
Well,
thing.
that was a horrible, crazy incident that happened there. But yeah, propaganda. Yeah, exactly. And my sister was adopted from Ecuador. She was it's in she was Latin American, but she was left on a church's doorstep or something, or I'm not sure the exact story, but anyway, she was adopted. Um, and my mom got her. It took about a year for them to get her over because they had to go through certain legal papers to show that they adopted her before they changed this law of not taking children out of that country. And then my brother was adopted, but he was born in Toronto, but his parents were Slavic. So there were two teenagers who had a baby. They were living in like cottage country, Ontario, Canada, but their parents were like Slavic, Yugoslavia kind of thing. And they had the baby in secret in Toronto at a hospital. And then they told the doctor they can't keep it because their parents will kill them, right? And so what happened is the doctor like knew my mom was on a list for adopting babies and just called her up. Said, "Do you want a baby?" And she went from where she was in Montreal at the time, and then she went to Toronto and she got adopted my brother Ken. And I have two other brothers who were natural children, but there was a third daughter my mom had, but she died of crib death, like as a baby, right before I was adopted. So,
What is crib death? Like explain for
oh,
the
it's SIDS, like sudden infant death syndrome.
hmm. So is
It's
it
where they're like they only a couple months old in their crib,
like a
and they pass
stillborn
away in their
almost?
sleep. What's that?
So they're kind of like a stillborn baby almost?
No, no, they're born and they seem totally fine, and then in a couple months old, they might just pass out in the bed.
Ah.
So no real reason, maybe suffocation, but it's almost like a natural death. They just didn't survive. And back in the day, before they had medical stuff, that happened to babies and families all the time, that they only lasted so long. And that's why so many people had so many families had
Kids,
like
yeah.
bigger families. Like my mom's family is a family of there was 11 kids in her family. 11 kids. How do you give birth to 11? I couldn't even
That's
imagine
almost a
giving birth
full
to one.
basketball team. It's literally
Yeah,
a full
exactly.
basketball.
11, because the reason why is one, back then kids used to help around the house or on the farm or whatever thing you had. And then of course many of them didn't survive. People were dying of the cold back then. People were dying like the flu and
Probably
pneumonia
fever
that would
too.
kill a kid. And that happened. Like any kind of disease that came on, they didn't have the medical. But the problem was is like my mom called the ambulance, but it was really foggy that night. And what happened is they couldn't find the house. So years later, after that, my mom put a sign up that right at the end of our driveway said 206, 2066, which was our address. But from the distance during the fog, they couldn't read the little number right outside the door. So she ended up making a sign at the bottom of the street, at the bottom of the driveway, because it was so foggy. The ambulance kept missing the house. They couldn't find the house. And then so that's why the baby died, so that medical stuff and different things that can happen. It's crazy. Kids die all the time. Like for example, I saved a kid from drowning when I was 18. That's my biggest heroic thing. I saved somebody.
Were you
He
like a
was
lifeguard? How did you?
well, we were raised where we took swimming lessons since we were kids, right? So it wasn't like I didn't have swimming lessons. And right before I quit it, I finished my green, right? Um, right before I quit it, we were learning how to rescue somebody, right? Like if somebody was drowning, we were learning that. We were learning how to do CPR. And the ironic thing was that it actually worked. It actually helped save somebody's life. So I learned that so much that it was just embedded into me. And I was swimming at a cottage with my boyfriend's family. And then and then his little brother was windsurfing. He was swimming all day and he didn't want to go in. So I said, okay, well, don't worry, everybody. I'll watch him. Like, I don't want a kid be by himself in the water. And thank God, because I was there. And so he wanted to keep playing in the water. So I'm like, okay, let's race to like what I was 18 years old. So I was playing with him like a little kid. I'm like, let's race to the rock and back. Right. And then on the way back, what people don't realize is kids, they have a lot of energy, but they have bursts of energy. This is why a lot of kids drown. They have bursts of energy. And then all of a sudden they lose all their energy and they can sink like a stone because they can't even keep themselves afloat. So that's what happened to him. So he started to feel like he was drowning. He didn't have any more energy. He put both hands on my shoulder and started to push me down like he was trying to drown me, right? But in my head, I knew from what I was taught, that's exactly what they do when they're about to drown. They try to grab onto anything, even a person, and they'll sink them like a stone because they try to keep afloat because they panic, right?
Yeah, and really you gotta you gotta give into the undertow too. One of my friends drowned the same way.
Right. Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. It was a while
what
ago.
happened?
Yeah.
I took the kid, right? When he started doing that, I didn't even think. Honestly, I just took him in my left arm like this, and I swam with one hand all the way back to the shore, and he was in panic. So he ran right inside the house, and I was standing there like in shock because I was like, wow, what just happened? I just saved his life because I knew that if I wasn't there and he decided to swim on his own, that day would have gone on wrong. He would have drowned and nobody would have known where he was.
Yeah.
Until he surfaced. Tell me about your friend.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he's lucky that Andrea Yates wasn't the lifeguard that day. But
Who's that?
I just looked it up. That's what I was doing. She's the lady that drowned her kid in the bathtub. She's from Houston, Texas, or whatever. So yeah, it was.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, Andrea, hold on a sec. Hey, I'm hold on a second. 1 second. Okay. And we're back. Yeah.
Who's that?
Oh no, it's just a worker. Worker came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Come back to you later. Yeah, no. Yeah, so that was
you know what's so funny? When I do webcam, sometimes I'm doing webcam with somebody, and then like this one guy, I think he might live in some sort of home. And I mean, it happens, right? But there's other people that come around. So I'm doing webcam with him, and his webcam is easy because it's like a sleep one. His thing is like he wants me to fall asleep. So I'm not even naked, right? Okay, this is a whole other. We'll go into the topic after.
What are you looking at? I'm in the same position. All you're gonna do is hear me toss and turn and talk in my sleep.
Oh my god, it's the best too. Like I love it. It's like one of my favorite one. I gave him a deal. Like I gave him a really cheap deal because it's so easy. So I don't charge him my full price. I charge him like
you charge him your sleeper price.
Yeah, it's super cheap because he's like, hi, Maxine. I'm like, hi. And he's like, okay, sleep. And I'll go, right? And I'd be, and then it'd be like, sometimes it'd be like, okay, wake up. And then I'll wake up, hi. And he goes, how are you? I miss you. And I'm like, I miss you too. And he's like, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. And he goes, guess what? Don't be scared, but there's somebody behind you. I'm like, what? He goes, and you're shot. Oh. And then I'm like, I got shot. So sometimes I go, oh, and then sometimes it's like, and you're getting electrocuted. He has a taser. He's electrocuting you. I'm like this. Oh.
Yeah. You're doing the equivalent of shadow puppets, but without.
It's so funny. And then sometimes it's like, oh, somebody's coming behind you, and he's got a thing, and you go. And every time I pass out, and then sometimes I'm out for a bit. But the funny thing is sometimes somebody walks in his room and he's like, oh, I'm he's like, I'm okay. And he's
like, damn it, I didn't know I had a spare set of keys. Fuck.
But it's hilarious because sometimes people walk in, right? And I have this other one where he does it when his wife is out, right? Oh, so then he's like this. He's like, click, and I go, what happened? And then he'll message, my wife came home. And I get that a lot too. My wife's coming home.
Oh, I bet that's more common than people think.
Oh my god, so funny. He's like this. I have one who goes, oh my god, my wife's coming home in 20 minutes. Can you do it in 20 minutes? I'm like, do what? And he's like, squirt. Can you squirt within 20 minutes? Yeah, sure. I can do it in 5 seconds.
You got a good chance. Squirt.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a robot. I'm not made out of like water. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, at some point it's just gonna turn to pee. I think everybody knows that. But
no, but that's also my secret too. So I do it naturally all the time, but there's sometimes like I have to induce it, right? So I drink
by the way, squirting secrets might be the name of the episode.
Yeah. So then I like squirting on cue and on webcam. So I drink tons of water, right? Like I have 3 water bottles ready and they're flavored water. Sometimes they have alcohol in them, right? And so I drink like 3 of those and before I do cam shows, not only because if I'm hydrated, I can squirt more, right? But also if I can't, and that happens. Sometimes they don't know the difference from the webcam. They can't tell. Once in a while, somebody go, "Is that yellow?"
It's like when you change the pressure. It's like when you change the pressure on a super soaker.
Like honestly, you can do it naturally, but sometimes when you do so much of it, you have to just like, and you're doing it live and producing it. Sometimes it's more of a challenge, right? So if a little bit comes out, so what? I'll just clean up later.
That's so wild. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna talk about my friend, but I want to end on a sad note. Maybe we should just end on that and keep going.
Whatever you want. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. We done like an hour and 15. If you want to keep going,
I know. Between you and me, we can talk forever.
Legit. Oh yeah, what is that painting behind you? I'm gonna be abstract.
Oh my God. I don't know, my family.
Is that from like Kiki's delivery service or something? What the fuck?
I have no idea. Sometimes I don't know, it's random stuff here. I mean, if I was in my mom's place in Florida, they have like this old rabbi painting, and they love this old rabbi. I'm like, I did a webcam there, and I was like, don't mind, just everybody just ignore the old rabbi in the background. I'm like,
right. Has anybody seen a baby foreskin? Yeah, it's like they're scattered around the floor like peanut shells.
So funny. Oh yeah, I forgot to add that part in my adoption story. Yeah, I was raised by Canadian white Jewish people. so that's the added
shalom, motherfucker.
What's that?
Said Shabbat shalom, motherfucker.
Shabbat shalom, motherfuckers. So funny.
Yeah, no, I guess we can just end there. It's fine. Like I said, I really had a good time chatting with you. We should do these at least once a month.
Just message me and we'll set it up.
I think so, especially if this month is going the way that it's going, but we can't look too far ahead. What I've been doing all month has just been living for the day. Doing the best I can. I heard George St. Pierre on Rogan's podcast. Where he's talking about like the wrong time you can use emotion. Emotion should be used to propel you and stuff. So I think emotion should be used to propel you. You know, or like Mike Tyson's old trainer would say, fire is great because fire can feed you, but it can also burn your house down. You know. So
that's so true.
Yeah. Another reason for you to control your squirting, because I don't know if you mix that with kerosene, how flammable that is. Anyway.
So funny.
I know.
Yeah. Or if I drink too much.
Legit. Oh yeah, that's true. I tell you, we're gonna do some vodka bombs, or we're gonna have to set up.
Yeah, let's do this, dude. Yeah. I have so much fun with you all the time. Okay. Good. So all you have to do is like say, hey, heads up, let's do another podcast. And we'll do it, and we'll both share the thing, and we'll put it on both of our stuff, and we can do it more often. I've only done it where like my friend has called or something, and I just like answer. So that was my first time kind of setting it up for a podcast. So hey, we're the first for each other.
I know we popped our Zoom cherry.
We popped our cherries.
Zooms. Zoom.
Podcast. Oh wait, so I want everybody to tell where they can find you. Yeah. Now, also after this, send me the exact link so I can copy and paste it. So tell me where they can find you or where they can follow you, that kind of stuff, and I'll do the same.
Yeah, well, like I said, if you've been watching, it's just the same links as usual, youtube.com/Dave Squeaky Wheels, all one letter with an S. Now, here's where the funny part comes in and where I might have to do some changes. Facebook is Dave Squeaky Wheels with the Z, SQUAKY, Wheels
Okay.
with the Z, and all one word, Dave Squeaky Wheels on Instagram. Same with Twitter, D Squeaky Wheels. And I think that's about it right now. I'm working on a Patreon. Maybe you know what I'm thinking is maybe
Cool.
we could do a Patreon or like a behind the scenes thing for them as well,
Yeah,
where
that's
we
good.
we can get a bit more salacious. You know what I'm saying?
We could do it.
Exactly.
Let's
So
do it. Let's do it.
I
Now send me the links too, so I can have the exact spelling for them, and then that way they don't have to try to write down what you said. So I'll just have the links copied, and I'll give you my links too. So my first thing is my official website is maxinex.com, and I'm all over the internet. Basically, all you have to do is search Maxine X.
yeah. All you have to
And
do is open
most
a
people are
tab and search.
Pornhub. Yeah. The other thing is where I connect with my fans the most is my OnlyFans. Now, I even tell like people on my social media, my Twitter that message me, get my OnlyFans, because I don't have time to message on people on the, just one by one on the Twitter. And so basically, if you go to onlyfans.com/. Maxine X, and I'll tell you what, I'll give a discount. Let's see, I'll find out anybody
Maybe
who
we
wants to
could,
join, I'll give
yeah.
them the $5 discount instead of the $10 discount.
If you watch this show, or if you're like a fan of me, or if you want to follow my stuff, we'll try and hook you up with that discount. That could be my first little
Yeah, exactly. And I'll send you a link that you can give anybody who wants to who's following you, and they can try it out for a month for $5.
Perfect.
Otherwise, it's still only $10 a month, but there's so much content on there. And if you
I,
want one, just tell me. I'll give you a discount too.
well, we'll talk off camera.
All right. Okay. Tell me when you want to stop recording, and then we'll stop recording.
We're about to right now. Anyways, see you guys. Hit the
All
wrist.
right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys.